Hey y'all, happy Taboo Tuesday. It's the WRDMTCN. You're tuned in to the Daily Smoke. Make sure you've subscribed and share these videos. We want to say thank you to some of our sponsors. Don't forget, you can go online to thedailysmoke.com and become a sponsor as well. First, we have Bangin' 832 Radio, www.bangin832.com. You can check out past shows on Sundays at 7 p.m. Thank you to Mia's Touch of Care Massage Therapy. To get with life, get a massage. You can go to TamiaAnderson.com to get more information. And if you're trying to get your body right, I think they say body yaddy yaddy yaddy. Call Tamia. She's also a personal trainer. September 10th, 2022, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. The Scout Bar, 18307 Egret Bay Boulevard, is having a big celebration. It's a South Park Coalition 35th anniversary concert. So if you like to be around a lot of people and celebrate great things, it's a great time to go. If your birthday's in September, balance all your celebrations and hit it up. Tickets are still available on Eventbrite for $25 pre-sale, $50 for VIP, or you can get a regular ticket at the door for $30. Go to thedailysmoke.com, that's THA, dailysmoke.com for more info on all our affiliates and sponsors, and make sure you hit that Cash App, $TD Smoke. Please make sure every first and third Sunday you check out the Buy Black Market. Now, of course, August was the wonderful month to celebrate Black business, but Black 365 all year round. You have great entrepreneurs in the city who are looking for you to support their business, their dreams. And if you're looking for an opportunity to be seen and supported, take your business and art to the Buy Black Market with the Shrine of the Black Madonna. For more information, you can contact Nalia at shrinebookstore.com. More information on the Daily Smoke. So as far as taboo topics go, ladies, there's nothing more taboo than women in a room. Because the assumption is they're about to gossip, they're about to talk shit, there's about to be an argument ensued. It's not always assumed that when you discuss taboo, it is the process of a generation breaking a curse and always finding a way to heal the hurt by way of the village. Who are you? What do you do?
I am Eryon, McCary, and I work for the community. I am an advocate of children, and I create safe spaces for them in education and residential settings.
Why?
Because I love children. I believe that they belong to us, and we have to ensure that going forward as stewards of knowledge, that we give them the structure, the discipline, the tools they need to succeed in life. And I want to ensure, because I don't have any children, that my time is spent making sure what they need is presented to them in the way that they need it. So for me, it's just my life. It's what makes me happy. It's what pushes me to get up every morning, because I know that there's some child that does not have the support that they need, and I want to ensure that I have the means to give it to them.
Who's your support system?
This lady right here. my mother, but I mean, she's my main, this is my artery, my mother is, but I have a village. I have my aunts, I have my uncles, I have my sisters, my friends, my family who just rallies around me and supports me in such a way. It just catapults me to the front of doing what I do even better. But yeah, my mom, McCary, became McCary. That is my main support system.
So it's really exciting. I know yesterday I posted a picture of some great women in the community on my Instagram, WRDMTCN, for Women's Equality Day, but even more so carrying over how we celebrate us all the time. It's only been 53 years that we have had rights as women in this country, and in doing so, we cannot not acknowledge the lineage of culture and how in this room we have two generations of greatness. Your heart of service stems from the core of your foundation. And I've literally recently met you.
Right.
Had the pleasure of getting to know that you are a passionate woman with such great intention, that you actually give so much time and thought into what you do that you feel like you're nervous. And I wanted to let you know that it's not nervousness that you're experiencing, it's excitement. It is excitement and anticipation because someone told you can do whatever you want to. Someone showed you how to use tools and resources to propel you to a space of building something great. And the motherhood you experience is in the entire neighborhood you serve.
Yes. Yes.
That's exciting.
Agreed. It is. It absolutely is. It gives me purpose to know that what I was given as a child, I can give back to my community and to the children and families that I serve in the best way possible, because it stems from good. Like, my intent is always to make the situation better for everyone who I encounter. So, yes.
How's your emotional state right now in this moment?
Butterflies. That feeling on the first day of school where you're walking down the hallway and you don't know anyone, or maybe these are your first time seeing them in a long time.
Yeah.
And so it's that anxiety, but not in a bad way, kind of in a what's going to happen next, or what is this going to bring about. It is exciting.
It is so exciting.
It's also a little scary because sometimes we don't allow ourselves to accept where we're going, and so we restrain, or we allow the fear to keep us or hold us back. So it's different. It's different. I mean, I'm learning.
Okay.
This is a.
Can you hold her hand? I want you to touch so you feel the presence of love and support. And I want you to acknowledge that the question I'm about to ask you, I have intention to prepare you by giving you a reminder that you are surrounded by love and support. But one taboo topic that I know a lot of people don't discuss is the ugly shit they face and why they have drive and passion. And something happened to you. Something happened to you recently that put you in a position to either be a victim or to victoriously cause a whole ripple effect of solution for a whole group of people that otherwise you would never know existed. And sometimes it's not until God or light or universe or situation puts itself in position for you to witness that you recognize, I can do something about this. What happened?
Last year in May, I was assaulted by a person that is known in the community as, I don't know, I call him the help, but other people might call him a serviceman, a janitorial, or whatever. But he assaulted me. He beat me to the point to where I felt like I was going to lose my life. And in that fight or flight moment, I picked up a can of gasoline to defend myself, and threw it on him and was arrested for attempted murder because they said, I guess in defending myself, that was the wrong way to do so. But that was the only thing I saw. And so in that moment, I was scared. The neighborhood and community rallied around me, but police officers, my own color, my own gender, they were against me. They were on his side. He was an elder, and he played the role of, this woman came and, she harassed me and took me by surprise and tried to kill me. And they believed that. And I went to jail. In jail, what I saw was that not only now in the courts, I guess in Harris County, they put the people who are in the city and in the county in one space. And they put juveniles and adults in holding in one space. And so I was in a space with about 400 people, and 200 of them were children under the age of 18.
Wow.
And for me, that was devastating. I immediately went into nurturing mode. I immediately, forgot
Even
that
in the belly of the whale.
In the belly of the whale, I immediately forgot that I was soaked in gasoline. From head to toe. I left there with a bacterial infection because, of course, in jail, we don't want to use the bathroom. We don't want to eat any food, drink any water. And I put myself in jeopardy, but I didn't see any of that while I was there because those children needed something. They needed a sense of inspiration. They needed, someone to talk to. A lot of them were there because their parents, my mom's boyfriend, or my dad, this. And for me, I said, hey, this does not need to be. I was released. Well, my bond was $30,000. Luckily, my mother, my
You're
lifeline, made a call, and someone came and posted my entire bill.
Wow.
And so I was released within 36 hours. But within
Talk
that
about a
36
village, man.
hours-
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. Thank you. But I gave my number out so many times. I gave my email out before I left. I got a standing ovation from the jail, and one of the CO said, "She's not Michelle Obama." Like I mean, by
No,
all
I'm Aaron
means,
McCary.
my name is definitely not Michelle Obama. But the fact that that's a comparison that you would think from this, I was humbled, I was honored, but more so, I was inspired to put back into my community to ensure that I made myself available to children and to teenagers that needed to know that they have somebody to support them. But if you need to talk, if you need to sleep somewhere, if you need something to wear, if you need to be picked up, you can call me. And so immediately I had already started my nonprofit, but immediately I decided I wanted to open up a residential home for girls. And I had already been pushing tutorials, which is what I do with my nonprofit. I also have a for-profit that I do daycare, homeschool regimens, and tutorials for people that can afford it. But on the nonprofit side, I decided that I wanted to become a safe haven for young women to know that they have someone that, I could have went either way. When I was from like 13 to about 16, I was I bucked my village. I didn't want I went to the opposite side of the tracks. I was in the drug dealers, the prostitutes. My mama was there. Hey, you all see this one? Y'all better send her. Like, people used to tell me, now come over here because your mama's coming. And baby, she gonna mess it up for everybody. Don't do it. But I bucked the system. I was stabbed. I was gang raped. So many things happened to me that could have took me. It could have changed the trajectory of my life, where I was on the opposite side of the coin of the people that I helped. And so for me, I know that my village is what saved me. My lifeline. My mother never gave up on me, but we got so many kids that don't have that.
Yes.
And so for me, that is what I wanted my safe space to incorporate. I wanted that to be the basis, to know that as long as you want to help yourself, as long as you're reaching, my hand is going to be out to hold it. So, yeah.
How's your emotional state right now?
It feels good. I feel, I saw the tears coming at first, but now I feel still a little anxious, but a little bit more relaxed, and just allowing myself to be. It's good.
Now look at it. I want you to tell your friend how you appreciate her and what you honor between you two.
Oh my gosh. This lady. Oh, I thought it was my.
Both of you, go ahead.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being my sister, for coming into my life at a time that you and I both know. We share a similar, we share a common ground with someone that that I love with everything in me. So I appreciate you for everything that you've been to me, for allowing me to be a part of your children's life, for allowing me into your family, and just stepping up, to kind of not just fill the void, but make a new space to let me know that, sisterhood is not dead, and it extends beyond the boundaries that we set, but to what we allow our hearts to feel. And so I thank you so much, and I love you, sister. I love you so much.
Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale. Take one more. In for 3, out for 7. So you can receive all of the petals of those beautiful flowers of appreciation. And in exchange, please.
What I appreciate and love about you and how I see you is beyond anything else I've ever experienced. So when I see you in your pain and in your calling and purpose, it's an energy that I don't see with anyone else. And it's one that has brought comfort to me, that allowed me to know that my children were safe. And even thinking back when I was younger, I was safe. But, as an adult, coming back into the fold and then being given the opportunity to work more closely with you, and then the advice that you've given, it's helped change my perspective on what I can do for myself as a Black woman, how I can invoke change around me and in my community. That all has manifested as adjacent to seeing you in, like this is possible. I could do this. And when I didn't see it, and you're like, girl, you can do this, or
You're awesome.
You're
awesome,
and I'm
lady.
like, okay, that's it. And taking that all in, like it's those words of advice. Like I remember a conversation we had, and you're like, I think you said shit or get off the pot or something. It was real kind of straightforward. Because I was like, oh, I want to do this, and then she was like, no, you're gonna need to focus on one thing and do that, and that helped me make the decision that I made to move forward to get my certification and teach and going into that field. So those, you might not think that those conversations hit, but they hit and they stick, and it has been like resounding, like refreshing impact in my life, and it's helped, especially like those insane days when I'm like, damn. And she brings this calmness, like, just it's not like that. Look at it like this, and the way you are with children, I like just pray like, oh, rub off on me some of that. But it has helped me. It has helped me so much with even my own children. Seriously, my hands sweating. It's funny, but it's helped me so much with my own children. Like just having that patience and giving it a different look and allowing them to be them.
Come on, mama, that's what it is.
And taking it into the classroom for the first time. I'm thinking of that, with my students in the classroom, like, you just being you.
Being you.
Just being you. And learning how to work around that and with that for the bigger goal. So thank you.
Take it deep.
And Jason, I'm sorry.
Come on, celebrate it.
Being in this fall, right? So you have Miss Eryon, then you have
The PK.
Mama PK, and your sisters. And so when you're in that mix and they're all gone, oh my, it's like you wanna, but it's like I just rather sit and just kind of
take it in.
It's something, I've never experienced, and I love it. I appreciate it, and I thank God for everything.
Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale.
All right, I'm ready to listen.
There are so many 501c3 organizations. Why? Because the government sells them. There are a few nonprofit organizations that help people accept. I run 2 of them. And sometimes because of what I do in the community, I run into them. And it's a great way to celebrate when you actually can discern the ways in which you allow yourself to experience people. Some mothers take such interest in the well-being of their children in and out of their faces that they get so involved in the conversations that they experience trust building. It's the fear that keeps you at bay, but on the other side is this freedom. And there is something really beautiful, not about silencing our celebration of being, not about quieting the excitement of being Black, but the unification that comes with uniting everybody who deserves a great opportunity. Your website is beautiful. Your vision is beautiful. The process of your service, like, I appreciate. I appreciate not having to go to bed thinking I didn't do enough today, because I am aware people are working. People are serving. People are way more attached to this woman than I am. And I'm 8 years in, like, man, that is my friend. And to be able to say that means a lot. But the fact that y'all have this, I'm super excited about it. Can you please talk to everybody who will watch this video about what matters most to you when it comes to this organization?
This is I'm not going to say my baby, because United Colors Learning Institute, which is where this stemmed from, that's my baby. That's what has taken me almost 20 years into the fold of educating children. But United Colors Education Center is a needed nonprofit, I would say, because every child deserves an education that is directed towards finding their purpose. Every child, they deserve to have all of the tools that they need to have so that they can be successful in learning. They may not want to go to college. They may not want to, after high school, they may not want to pursue any type of formal education in that sense, but they have a talent that they can teach other people. I've seen children 6, 7, 8 years old that can draw or that can get behind a computer and take it apart and put it together without even reading or knowing how to read. And it's like, you meet them where they are and you teach them how to expound those talents, and you never know how far they can go, what they choose to learn to build upon that or to move forward. And that is what United Colors Education Center is. It is a platform for children to be successful learners in a safe space. We don't want to change them. We don't want to stop them from being who they are, but we want to catapult them to their best selves by giving them the tools and resources that they need to learn and be educated well. And so for me, I believe in I'm only one person. There's only one organization. Okay. So I believe in aligning myself with other organizations that are on the good foot. For me, it's about action. I don't like talking a whole bunch about, hey, we should do this, we should do that.
No,
this is what needs
doing?
to be done.
Yeah.
What are we doing to get that done? This August, we did 9 back to school drives. We served over 5,000 children. Just in one weekend, last weekend, the 23rd, we had our own back to school drive, and we did over 500 students. When the rain came and we saw that it was getting slow, we thought, oh, we took it to the streets. I mean, my team, everybody, and it was a domino effect. It wasn't one person saying, oh, we're just going to get out here, but everyone saying, yeah, you sure right. Let's make a sign. Let's, serve it to the parents out there. And we had lines. What?
Like a pull-up.
Like they were pulling how many children you got.
Yeah.
Pass me 3 backpacks. Pass me. So it's about service. It is about creating those opportunities. And children, they see that, and the children was out there with us. You know what I'm saying? Help. And they see that, and it's inviting to them. It's welcoming. And I think that we lose sight of, in today's environment or society, we lose sight of the voices of children and what we need to give them to make those voices amplify in a way that they can be everything that they say or want to be. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I want, or that's what we are doing. That's what we're doing at United Colors Education Center. My team, my board, my staff, and I don't like to say my staff because it's my team. They work with me. They don't work for me, because it's a choice that they make to come, wherever it is we're serving tutorials, or we're serving food, or we're serving lessons, whatever it is we're serving. It's a choice for them to come from where they come from, to give everything they have at that time. And it's not long times. Usually it's like 2-hour blocks. So they're taking 2 hours out their way. They may have to travel an hour to get there, but they come, they dedicate their time, and it's well spent, because the end result is we have children that look forward to coming back. We have children that decide, I want to do tutorials, on Tuesdays and Thursdays to get better at math, or so that I can succeed at reading. And that's what we want to promote. We want to give those critical thinking skills so that they can make choices on their own, because we see so much earlier they're deciding for themselves. They're utilizing their own thought process to say, I don't like this. This is not comfortable for me. And we don't want to hush that. We want to build upon that and tell them that's okay. Yes, absolutely. What is it that you don't like? Or what is it that you do like? How can we incorporate that so that we can both work together? I see teachers doing that. I'm social media phobe in a way, but I know that that's the way of the time. So I'm getting there. But what I'm finding is that they're teachers, they're educators, there's people that are using their platforms for good. And I think if more of us come together on that good, or let's promote, positivity, let's promote, healthy education, safe spaces. If more people get together and align themselves with that mindset, with that thinking, that it'll become contagious. And it'll be kind of like, you can't help it. You're going to have to get on or get rolled on, because that's what is going to be, the majority. That's going to be what the majority.
The vibe.
I just believe that.
I
believe
love that. I love that. And I'm grateful for it. As a mother in this community, what was it like for you? Did you experience your kids 24 hours in a day?
Yes.
How was that
Are we talking about in general or doing?
during the pandemic?
Oh, so the kids and I both came home from work to be remote during that time, and yeah, it was a challenge because as a mother, working mother, like many, I imagine you experience your children for so long throughout the day, but most of the time it's away at school, and so coming back into the house, it was a big adjustment. Like my production at work was struggling. It was just a lot. And they were suffering too, as far as education wise, and it wasn't
Missing that
picking
connection.
up. And I knew right away that something was going to have to be added to help assist them because it wasn't going to, naturally get there. There was a distraction in being at home. I couldn't monitor my workload and them making sure they were on point. And so I remember looking for stuff, and I called within, and
She's a great mom.
and from there, so my experience on my side, because coming from a receiver of the service
Yes.
through my children and seeing how that worked and seeing the outcome, and how they work, the curriculum is literally designed to come in and first seek out like what they like, and I saw how they incorporated, like my son liked dinosaurs, and that was built into it. And so he went from not wanting to write, not liking math, to math being his favorite subject. And I saw the improvement.
Over the course of how long?
This was over the course of the first cycle, 3 months. So yeah, 3 months.
In a quarter.
Yeah,
6 or 7.
In a quarter,
I could
she
tell the
changed your life.
Absolutely. My
Not even
children,
from the lifetime of friendship. Because it takes so much trust. Like when you think about who you let in your village for your baby.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's one thing to be in a position to bear one. It's another one to be among the fruit of them. Right? Like, we got the water, the seeds, the tissue, the benches under the trees for their babies to come and sit under. Like, the whole entire scheme of this creation. I don't know if you wake up every day knowing that you are building something great. I'm not sure if you have faced the acknowledgement of the placement of blame in a false way that you have to be reminded in 10 minutes like you're a good mom. But the fact that you brought life to us was the good thing. And in the village that you have been trusted with your children, it's the greatness you experience, because you're not alone when you decide to bring forth something wonderful. In the process of motherhood, the idea of parenting, there's so much that you have faced during a time where the entire nation could say, me too, to where your muffled tears are silenced to a point of complete emotional devastation that now you feel this sense of emotional constipation. You don't even tell us how you're doing because you got to get it done. As a woman, as a mother, as a friend, do you have any idea that you could go to a therapist for less and they would give you pills for that PTSD and trauma, for that complete hesitation, people's heart palpitations that they experience at the idea of walking in a room with 5 people, even today? Walking into a space and not knowing the exchange, if you have to continuously wash your hands or spray your Lysol, it's not you, it's me. We are so conditioned to be careful, we forgot to be filled with care. And so it's nice, it's nice to divulge the truth in an unpainted way. She didn't have to say, hey, can you send me a review on Google and let everybody else know how I'm doing? But like, the authenticity of your appreciation to your friend that you have entrusted with your kin, your own kids. That is beautiful, truly. What do you do for your self-care as a woman, as a mother, while you're so busy feeding, clothing, preparing, sheltering, and nurturing these people that will speak life into long after you're not here? Like, what are you doing for you?
For me personally, I do take great pride in that because I've been in a place where depression, anxiety ruled my being. So I protected at all costs at this point. But when feeling a little bit overwhelmed, well, even before being overwhelmed, I make sure that I take my time. I go out in nature. I'd like to drive, so I may take a drive.
Even with these gas rates?
Yes, I have to. It's a way. If
You can't afford not to.
yeah, that's a great way.
You
to
can't
look at it.
afford not to.
It gives me this peace. It's like I process the stuff. So even now coming back out of, because I've been working remote for the last 2 years.
Now you
but
back.
now I'm commuting back. So that alone like gives me kind of this peace in the midst of this transition. But yeah, getting out in nature. I like to take walks. I'll let my kids know first of all, like this is
My time.
do not disturb if I go on the door if I decide to stay at home. And they know they get it like now because they know the other side when mommy was all over the place. Yeah, we don't want to see that, so we're gonna help cultivate. We're gonna help cultivate this serenity for her too. And my oldest daughter is amazing because she'll be So everybody gets it now, but it was a struggle though. Like you said, as a mother. Trying to take on everything, doing it by myself. I do have a wonderful village, parents, siblings who are very involved and helpful, but you still, you want to do.
You want to do it yourself.
Or you feel like you need to, and having the struggle with trying to keep all that in line. And I paid the price, like mentally. It was just, debilitating, but it feels good to be in the space where that is at bay and you know how to manage it. And I've been managing it really well. So, and these outlets, like being part of United Colors Education Center, working my work now, it's like a full circle, And so, I'm good. I'm happy. I love it. Yeah. I'm a much better place.
She's a great mom. She has cultivated these relationships. She has a set of twins.
Oh.
And then a 16-year-old daughter. And she has a relationship with them that's so honest. I always say, I think I take to women who remind me of my mom. When I always tell people, I've never birthed a child, but I've been a child of a mother who, her love was unwavering. She was not, I felt it full throttle all my whole life. Like even when I was at my worst or I was at my lowest, I never felt like my mother didn't love me. I never felt like there was a disconnect between that. And I think I fall in love with women who I see are that way with their children, who give their children, that sense of you are your own being. I am my own being, but
we can be here.
We can be here and coexist in a way, that supports us all, in our growth. And so I love the way that she interacts with her children, and that, like she said, she asks for that space because they completely respect it. That door, like if I come in to visit or I'm coming and I go, who's in there? And they'll see the door open. That sign might be up, but they'll kind of, well, mom, the sign's, yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay, mommy. Okay. So it's definitely something that I know can't be taught.
But it can be shared.
I can be shared. There you go.
It can be shared.
It can
You
be
can share this video. You can share this with someone looks like they could really use, to me, a touch of care. Looks like they could really use a deep breath. Looks like they could really use a sign they can laminate and put in a frame if they have to put their hours of operation and when they're blocked off. Like that intentional setting of space. That is encouraging.
It is. And to me, it's such a care. I highly recommend.
She's amazing.
She is, I've known Tamia for over 10 years. She is a wonderful lady, and she is good at what she does.
And that lady got healing hands.
She takes pride, because she takes pride in it. That's another person who, I can honestly say we don't talk every day. I haven't talked to her in quite some time, but, we're Facebook. We follow each other on social media. But I can honestly say her craft is what it is today because she believes in what she does. Like what she does comes from a passion that, when I first met her, she was just going into her, having her own business and putting it on the forefront of not working for somebody, but doing it for herself out of so I think she was in the service. Well, she is in the service. She does the service. And so I was like, this is what you want to do. And not even thinking. And when you said it, I said, look at God, like just still on the same platform, individuals that, you know, I have been a part of that are aligned with that same vision of healthy life, you know what I'm saying, and producing positive moments for everyone. And to me, it's Touch of Care. Yeah, Siobhan, like she A1. Like, yeah, y'all hit her up. I definitely can recommend that her massages.
Definitely.
But to be so little and pack so much power,
so much
you know?
spirit, so much strength.
Yes,
You know
ma'am.
what's really funny is money sometimes for people, especially an entrepreneur. But I know some people have mastered living on a budget, allotting such a budget to cover their interests, to travel the world, to make connections, to be an internationally acclaimed genius, right? And it's amazing to me because I'm telling you, you can't afford not to take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, no one else will know you need it.
Right.
Because you walking around like everything is okay with that smile plastered on your face, not even realizing it's not because you haven't reflected. Get in the mirror and acknowledge your face don't look like it's supposed to. If you feel shame when you see you, do something different. If you have to fill your body with drugs, alcohol, or food to find comfort, I admonish you to switch your direction of investments and get a greater return. However much money you've spent on eating out, drinking, doing drugs in the past month, I dare you to take that money and call Tamia Anderson, call me, call the Daily Smoke, make a better investment, make a donation to an organization doing something for the nation of our future, and watch how you feel. Because there's a sense of pride, not saying, oh, here I go with this newfound problem, I'm late, oh, I'm pregnant, who's going to help, oh, I'm this, who's going to do that, as opposed to I have a beautiful village where I'm connected, where I can unapologetically put some earbuds in, jam to some music, and not worry because I know what I have done is enough. We don't get to until we realize we can. And the fact that we watch women, y'all, this lady was on here not even a month ago, okay, talking about the fact that her 10-year plan is to plant 100 trees so your seeds can sit under them and be under the residue of love resonating within sunlight or the grace of the moonlight. Like, PK, there is not enough words in the world to say thank you, except thanks for giving us something else to continue, because like you're just not allowed to die. There's no way that your life could leave us.
No, this
you know?
is my immortality.
No, just
And I
absolutely.
understand what that means there. But I think when you talk about taking care of yourself, I learned that lesson the hard way. I had traveled to about 10 countries when I started having problems, and it was taking on everything. And one day my blood pressure just really shot up and I had vertigo, and Eryon took me to the hospital. She said, no, this ain't funny. And I fell asleep, waiting for the intravenous stuff to take hold. And I dreamt of my funeral. And I dreamt that it was some big monumental church and thousands of people were there telling everybody how wonderful I was. And I remember waking up and sitting straight up like I did in the casket. And I said, but you both scared.
Yeah.
And it was an awakening. You can say no.
Yeah, you can.
You don't always have to be the one. And if I've done my job right, I don't have to be the one, because there are a whole bunch of ones out there that are doing the work. I'm different than Jeff Bezos. He doesn't have one 24-hour in his day. He has thousands of 24 hours, and he's reaping the benefits. I have thousands of 24 hours that I'm creating that work together and that are doing things together. And when you think about just the last 3 weeks, they did more in 3 weeks than some people don't do in 3 years.
30.
30, lifetime. And it's important that we understand that life comes through us in different forms. Her as a mother biologically, but spiritually,
Ooh.
this is a mother because she was mother. I mean, I admit to taking her to the psychiatrist and saying, fix her, I'm gonna kill her.
But
And
they
the
did,
therapist
though.
took all 3 of my children in. And for more than an hour, they were in there. I'm sitting outside. Then she does this to me, come in. Everything those kids do and are is your fault.
From your seeds.
And I was ready to fire her then and there. But something said, listen. And I learned that I'm equipped with all the tools to be the best mother for her. But I have to give myself over to that greater power. And that's why I love Khalil Gibran's story about children. They come through us, but they're not from us. They're from life's longing for itself. And in doing that, realizing that I'm equated to the bow. Wait a minute, a bow is an inanimate object until you put it in the hands of an archer. And if you are sturdy, strong, flexible, when you send your arrows forth, bullseye.
Yes.
Bullseye. I asked kids last weekend, the question was, what do you want to leave behind? What is it in the world that you want gone? And these kids talked about not being followed in a store, not being treated differently because of the color of their skin, not being afraid because you might be gay. I mean, they don't want that. What do you do? What do you want? Teachers that care about it.
Come on.
If that's the first thing that a child says, what you know now is there are teachers who do not care.
No, they care about getting those loans written off, and it's okay, honey. You're called to do something else. But it's just a disservice to exchange when you have a place to take your kids.
Right. And to build it together. And when we get this first home, it won't be the last home. Because it won't just be 8 children, but it will be 8 children times all of the people that they will impact themselves. That's what the generational strategy is all about. And it'll be their way, who they are, not who we want them to be. I didn't know what she would be, but I knew 3 days after she was born, when she held up her head and stared at me, I knew that I had something special.
She called you special. I called it a creep.
Right.
These COVID babies ain't nothing new. Y'all just got access to see what they be doing. Like,
Right. We can
been
record
here.
it now, but we've been here. We've been here.
But her favorite saying now is, once children see, they cannot unsee.
oh no.
They can't.
And they
Show them
learn from us
everything.
even when we don't want them to.
Yes.
Let's go deep. How old are your kids?
16 and the twins are 9.
Sex. Yeah. So some taboo topics are not easy and you have pearls to clutch, but just take a deep breath. Because while it's not easy to accept that your childish, immature child thinks about sex as much as your husband or your child's father or your partner or even you, there is a very high need to normalize sex and sexuality and confusion and curiosity so there is no chaos.
Yes.
There is no reason why anyone's daughter should be subjected to the curiosity of a child who does not know what to do with his penis
Yes.
effectively. There's no need for a little girl to explore a little girl or a little boy and a little boy with fear because they were taught sex is bad. Sex is beautiful. Everybody does not have the mental capacity to engage in it. Intimacy the same. There are ways to prepare yourself for your children's education because once they see it, they can't unsee it. And if children are exposed to sex or sexuality or anything related to their identity at all in a place of fear or torment, it is detrimental. But you have an opportunity, if you have a child within reach, where you can normalize your self-care out loud. I take care of my body. When someone compliments me, I say thank you because my words are powerful and enough. I don't have to disrobe to show my appreciation for being acknowledged for what I already knew, because I'm in the mirror every day telling myself too, you look good, bitch. But sometimes those topics become so taboo that we fail to acknowledge you deserve to know what things do, how they feel, and that you should wait until you have the mental capacity to engage.
To engage, or we expose them without giving them the 411 behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, just real quick story. When I was in kindergarten, I went to a Catholic school. Okay, a Catholic school at a Catholic church with a Catholic nun and the preacher.
They popped you with the rulers.
Right, with the ruler at the deal. And at school, at the table, they were having a conversation. One of the young girls was like, "I'm getting a little brother. The stork is going to bring us a little baby brother." And we're happy. Well, the night before was Thursday night, and it was the night my mother watched Knots Landing, and Val was having her twins for Gary. And those of you who don't know Knots Landing, you're just too young. But those of you who know, you know. And I was up. I went and got my mom's bed. We were usually in bed by 7:30, but this night I was in my mom's bed, and Val was having her baby, and they were showing, the pain in her face, and her legs gapped open, and she was pushing, and this is baby one, this is baby two. And I told my mom,
Where's the bird?
It's not a stork. How did she get pregnant? What is pregnant? And my mother explained to me. She explained how pregnancy happened, conception, a man and a woman. And, she phrased it very well. She's a great storyteller. They love each other very much. They have intercourse. The man inserts his penis into the woman's vagina and then semen and ejaculates. She gave me the whole spiel. So when I went...
Because you kept asking more questions.
It was definitely...
It wasn't a lecture, y'all.
Right,
she was inquisitive.
Right.
Mama didn't lie.
I was asking. I wanted to know. I had that type of mindset that the next question, please, that's my, to this day, make it make sense. But when I was sitting at that table in kindergarten, and it may have been first grade, but when I was sitting at this table and hearing these people talk ludicrous about a stork bringing a baby, it didn't make sense, and I wanted them to know. And so I gave them the spiel my mama gave me. The
Catholic church with the rulers and the nuns.
I remember, and she got the long ruler, because the short ruler was when she was standing in your face, but the long ruler was when she came across. And she reached me, and I jumped back, not knowing that I was doing something wrong, because, of course, my mother told me this. And for me, education, the questions came and the answers were given. I thought I was doing the same with my classmates. And we were in school. Isn't this the place where you're supposed to be educated and you're supposed to learn these things? I used all the proper words. I wasn't vulgar or anything of that nature, but I was in trouble. I found myself sitting in the head mother's room, and I was upset, I didn't know what I had done wrong, but she was chastising me and telling me that I was going to go to hell for having these thoughts and thinking these things, and it wasn't my place to say that, and where did I get the information from? And I was terrified as a child. I remember that. But I also remember this lady right here showing up with the cavalry. She went into that office and came back out, and we left because it was the end of the day. And she said, "Baby, you didn't do anything wrong. But what mommy tells you, the education mommy gives you, you have to allow those children's parents to educate them." So I was like, so just let them believe a lie, But
that's so hard, right? Like, but hold on, they're lying. They telling the wrong story. That version didn't happen.
That's not the truth.
That's your pastor, baby. Like,
the lie. And I don't know if it was a chuckle or kind of like a, oh baby. But she basically was like, you have to allow those parents to teach their children. They don't teach that in school, and mommy teaches you, what you should know, but everything is not for everybody. So it was a good lesson, but it was clear to me that at an early age, children were lied to what parents thought was protection. You know, we're protecting them, but we're really setting them up to be misguided. So those things that you said, you know, so many children from my generation, they were molested. They were thought to not feel beautiful, or when they got their first compliment of, oh, you're pretty, they had to take their clothes off, you know. My best friend, her sister, she was a beautiful girl, but I believe because, you know, there were some things that her parents tried to protect her from, that she felt like she had to give her soul, you know, for something that did not benefit her.
Man, look, pause for the cause. Y'all watching this, if you have not experienced the process of unapologetically exposing yourself in a naked way, you might not really understand the unfolding of realizing you have been too afraid to teach these babies that it's okay to have questions and curiosity, that there are books, there are videos, there are TikToks, there are honest folk who will teach them. There are also some people who will feed off of their ignorance. They will feed off of them. They will fiend for them. They will feed them bullshit. It is your responsibility. It's my responsibility not to make taboo topics uncomfortable, but to let you know this is the time while we can protect them. And protecting your children, though your intentions have always been well, I would only hope, it's not so productive to keep them from going beyond the threshold of your space of comfortability, your past trauma, your teachings, your unlearned behavior that has not taken place yet. When your child is ready to ask a question, that means you are prepared to answer. That whole, oh, I'll tell you when you're old enough, like those responses don't buy enough time, because the concept of a lie stays. When I realize I can't trust you to be open with me, I won't be open to you. And if the only time you're expressive of truth is when you're so passionate because you want to prove a point, we've gotten past. I've already touched this. I've already done that. I've already read this book. I already saw that on P-Valley. I already saw that on Blackish. I already saw that on those shows on YouTube. Like, the radio is playing lyrics that children are now utilizing in the classroom. Freudian slips, not even aware that their lips are uttering words that cause disruption. The tsunami effect are these butterfly moments that will literally only last a literal day. You have to really understand how this works. There's a space for you to acknowledge if it's not in the place of your comfortability. There's also a space for you to say, hey, I have had that opportunity and I'm getting through it. But how are you feeling about your children's education and readiness of their sexuality?
It was initially, because of how it wasn't taught to me like that. It wasn't a discussion. It wasn't even introduced.
You just had 3 kisses.
I had to figure all of that on my own. So coming into being a parent, I wanted to do it differently, but still not knowing how that would look, you know? But when the time came, and this is before as far as my oldest daughter started being into whatever she was into, it just fell on my spirit. It's like, let me have this conversation with her. And I remember she was 12. And at the time, my younger niece was there. And she was just so shocked. She was like, why are you talking to her about that? And she's too young. And I remember saying to her, well, when would you prefer us discuss it? After she started having sex, or after she's been exposed to such and such, you know? And so I do think that if it comes up, when it comes up,
that's time.
Address it with my children. I realize, especially with the twins, like I've tried to do the filtering of like YouTube and put these blockers, and the stuff still comes through. And so I'm like, what is that? What? Let me see. Is the restriction on? Yes. It still comes through. Very suggestive stuff. So as it comes, you want to preserve innocence, right? But as it comes through and I see it, I observe it, and we address it then. So like, hey, turn that off. Let me tell you why this is, that. And even though that's what you see, and I prefer you not to,
give them spins.
Yeah. So we're going to not do that. And this is why, not give them that expectation in my household as my children, and what that looks like. So, and I've witnessed them come across stuff and see how they, on the cut, how they react. and they'll, you know, follow through with it. And then I'll tell them, you know, I can't see what you're, you know, looking at, and go back on it. But they go there. They even come in, you know, listening. I just started in the classroom this school year and hearing some conversations. And, you know, I knew before then, you know, these kids, they're exposed to a lot. And I remember my first, like, come to moment when I was like, oh my God, how do you protect them from it? It's everywhere. It's in everything that's channeled to them. So you kind of just got to face it, like you said. Head on.
Side note. So I know that a lot of parents experience fear of their kids being bullied, being chastised and taunted for not having the latest iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how to use the tools and devices you have gifted your children so they can keep up, when you go to their YouTube app on their phone, when you go to the browser history on Safari or their Google Maps or Chrome, and you look at what they're looking at on YouTube, go to the top right and press down on the face just to see how creative your kid is and if they made another profile. Because they will always find a way to get in that pool. I don't care how many locks you put on the fence.
Yes.
And you know, you have.
Yes.
See, as soon as you said something, I was like, oh, see, some parents don't even know.
Yes.
They don't even know their kids make different profiles.
Yeah.
They got 2 Instagrams.
Yes.
He changed the profile.
They got user number 17, 14, 355 on TikTok. They keep up, and you don't even need accounts on these social media sites to see what's going on. I'm telling you, like, if you're a parent, it's a parent. You're going to teach some lessons you're not ready for, or call somebody who can with grace.
Yeah. And stay in that loop, because for me, I have, you know, my nieces, they're, you know, mid-20s now, but they will, you know, give me tips. Oh, Red, you know, this is how, and she told me about the account, you know, the second accounts, because I would go through randomly looking, and I'm like, oh, she's doing good. I didn't know about the DMs initially, or certain, you know.
Or the vanished messages.
Right. So once I was like, oh, this, you know, I know you're going to go through it and experience, but my thing was with my daughter, who's the teenager, the oldest, this is what you're going to go through, right? We're both going through it for the first time together. Me as your mother with you during this phase. Allow me to give you advice. I hope that you take it. But in this moment, this is how you should carry yourself with dealing with X, Y, and Z. You know, we don't do this. You know, there was an issue with pictures floating around, you know, being sent. This is not how we, you know, this is why. And,
once it's on there, it's always on there. That's
Always
what I
on
get.
there.
When
Yeah,
I say
that's
once it's
considered
there,
law,
it's
you know.
against the law, and it's always on there. That means that I put it to my students that are teenagers that once you circulate these pictures across a text or across your social media platform, it's for life, for the rest of your life. It could pop up 30 years from now, you know, and you, what? So you just be cautious at what you want to share. You know, I'm not going to be with you always. Your mom and dad is not going to be with you always, but you have to be a stand-up person and be able to look at yourself, you know what I'm saying, and say, hey, I did that. This is what, you know what I'm saying, is going on with me today. So are you happy with that person?
Yeah.
Ladies, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. It's been a pleasure. How do you feel now?
Very comfortable.
Can I say that you might come back and we discuss the progression of programs and how to support what you have coming up?
Yes,
All right.
yes, absolutely.
I really have enjoyed it. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you for the transparency of just exchanging some nice flowers to a beautiful friend / family. And I'll always be paid for entrusting your village with us. I appreciate you very much. Taboo Tuesdays, make sure you tune in, subscribe, share this video, support these amazing women. And if you don't know, get with it. $TD Smoke.
Go to UCEC.
TX.org.
Sign up for the services, tutoring.
Mentorship, behavioral therapy, residential treatment. We have it all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. This was